Chapter 29. Navigating the Heart of England. The morning was still as Emma eased Serendipity forward, the canal stretching out ahead like a ribbon of glass. A thin mist lingered above the water, shrouding the hedgerows in an ethereal glow. She had left Market Drayton behind, her sights set on Birmingham, and the journey ahead promised both challenge and beauty. By late morning, Serendipity cruised toward Norbury Junction, a quiet but significant meeting point of waterways. The Shropshire Union Canal had settled into its characteristic deep cuttings and towering embankments, a testament to Thomas Telford's bold engineering. The straight stretches made for easy cruising, but the looming sandstone walls and bridges gave the canal an almost secretive feel. Emma moored near the junction with the long-closed and now subject to restoration Shrewsbury and Newport Canal for a quick rest. Then a familiar sight caught her eye: Malvern, a well-kept 1920s narrowboat, bobbing gently against the bank. Liz was standing on the stern, sipping tea, and grinned when she spotted Emma approaching. "I had a feeling our paths would cross again," Liz called. Emma laughed, stepping onto the towpath. Seems we're both drawn to the same waters. Liz had spent the past few weeks meandering through the waterways, gathering material for a book she was working on. She invited Emma aboard for tea, and they sat on Malvern's small deck, reminiscing about their last meeting at Aldlam Locks. "You're heading to Birmingham?" Liz asked. Emma nodded. "That's the plan. Thought I'd challenge myself with the Wolverhampton 21 locks." Liz raised an eyebrow. "Now that's a test of patience." Emma grinned. "Could use a hand if you're up for it." Liz didn't hesitate. "I'll follow you in. We'll tackle them together." Their boats slipped out of Norbury in tandem, winding through Wheaton Aston, a peaceful village with one of the cheapest diesel stops on the entire canal network. They filled their tanks and stocked up on supplies before continuing south. The stretch toward Brood was serene, lined with tall trees that arched over the canal like a green tunnel. The village itself was a charming place, with its old sandstone church and narrow lanes. The two boaters moored for the night, sharing a quiet meal by the towpath, their boats moored side by side beneath a starry sky. The next morning, Emma and Liz reached Ortherley Junction, where the Shropshire Union Canal met the Staffordshire and Worcestershire Canal, leading them onto the Birmingham Canal Navigations, BCN. The BCN would be a stark contrast to the countryside they were leaving behind. It was a network of industrial-age waterways winding through Birmingham's heart, with towering red brick warehouses, old iron bridges, and remnants of a bygone era. The shift was immediate. Gone were the rolling fields, replaced by a waterway edged with history. The Wolverhampton 21, a daunting flight of 21 narrow locks, stretched ahead, a single boat staircase of water leading toward the city. The locks were close together and could only accommodate one boat at a time, meaning teamwork was essential. Emma moored Serendipity at the bottom lock and then walked ahead to prepare the first chamber. Once open, Liz took the lead, steering Malvern in. Then she climbed up onto the lock side, closed the bottom gates and paddles, then opened the top paddles to allow the lock to fill and for Malvern to rise up. Meanwhile, Emma walked on to prepare the next lock, and when it was ready for Malvern, walked back and set the lock that Malvern had left for Serendipity by closing the top gates and paddles, emptying the lock, opening the gates and boarding Serendipity to steer into the lock. Meanwhile, Liz had taken Malvern into the next lock, closed the bottom gates, lifted the paddles to fill it, and walked forward to the next lock, set it for Malvern and walked back. Step by step, lock by lock, they ascended. The rhythm became second nature. Mooring, walking, opening gates, lifting paddles, steering and resetting. The process was physically demanding but strangely satisfying, a dance of water and movement. Passers-by stopped to watch, and a few fellow boaters offered a hand, helping to speed up the ascent. As they approached the top lock, the landscape began to change. The urban environment of Wolverhampton unfolded around them, with the mainline railway station adjacent to the final lock, emphasising the canal's historical importance in the city's transport network. Nearby stood a warehouse designed by Thomas Telford, a testament to the area's rich industrial heritage. By mid-afternoon, they had cleared the final lock, stepping onto the towpath with exhausted but satisfied smiles. Liz stretched her arms. That was quite the workout. Emma wiped a hand across her brow. And we're not even in Birmingham yet. The journey from Wolverhampton to Birmingham was longer than anticipated, with the canal weaving through the heart of the Black Country. They navigated the factory locks, where a junction led to a canal passing the Black Country Museum, offering a glimpse into the region's industrial past. The city began to unfold around them as they approached the heart of the BCN. The water glittered under the afternoon sun as Serendipity and Malvern made their way into Gas Street Basin, where Birmingham's canals converged like a spider's web. Cafes and pubs lined the water's edge, the scent of fresh food drifting through the air. The modern skyline loomed above them, blending seamlessly with the preserved industrial heritage of the city. The canals, once the lifeline of the Industrial Revolution, now bustled with leisure boaters, cyclists and walkers enjoying the unique atmosphere. Emma moored near the basin, stepping onto the towpath with a satisfied sigh. The journey had been long, but the destination was alive with possibility. Liz leaned against her boat, looking out over the water. "So what's next?" Emma smiled. "Not sure yet. But for now, I think I'll just enjoy being here." The journey would continue, but tonight, the city belonged to them.
Thank you for joining us on this leg of the journey through the heart of England. If you enjoyed Chapter 29 of Emma's Canal Chronicles, please like and subscribe to stay afloat with the next peaceful passage along the cut. Every turn in the water brings a new reflection and a new story. And if you enjoy a mystery with deeper shadows, step into the Ilara Miles Files. Audiobooks, Book 1. The Vanishing of Violet Blake. This gripping detective thriller follows private investigator Ilara Miles into the windswept village of Brackenridge, where an artist's cottage lies in ruins and a body may not be who it seems. Secrets, lies, and a signature that doesn't match. Nothing is quite what it appears. Listen now to Chapter 1, teaser on YouTube, or buy the book on eBay, or visit www.emmaandserendipity.co.uk to explore the world of Ilara Miles. One mystery solved opens the door to another. Until next time, see you along the towpath.